Hello guys, Ash here. Thank you so much for being on this video. I wanted to talk about something that has been on my mind for a while now, and I know that it's going to be interesting due to the fact that a lot of people are asking me why am I not watching the show, and the reality is that prior at the beginning of the show, I've been portrayed a certain way, and that's totally cool. I've been there's things that has been said that is quite cool too, because I just got used to it. I'm like, well, you know what? People will say stuff, but something hit me. What hit me was my eye condition. That honestly, I actually didn't realize how bad my eyes was until I did the show and I was looking at myself on TV. It didn't hit me at all. So, sorry, actually, some people ask me, oh, why do I touch my nose? I feel like it gives me pretty much like a boost of my neural system. So if you don't like it, don't care. So, the show, the reason why I don't watch it is due to the fact that each time I saw myself in the TV, I felt like there was an actual issue with me. I know that I have hypothyroidism, that's fine. But it never happened to me that I will see myself and think of, this guy has a defect. Because that's how I saw myself. A defect means that actually think of a machine, think of a car. A car, it can be cool, whatever it is, but if you don't have the wheel on, you can't drive the car. If you don't have the starter button, you can't start the car. That's how I felt actually, and that's my own perception, expression of that moment when I saw myself in that on that box, a screen, and I saw my eyes. I'm like, oh shit, I have a fucking problem right now. I actually have a fucking problem. Is that me? Fuck yeah, it is me. So I started thinking in a mindset of fear. And I'm sharing that with you right now because people say that I'm positive, etc. Great, I am positive. But sometimes that positivity can switch and you can feel negative. You can feel like a certain way I played the victim. That's what I call played the victim. So I saw myself on screen and I was like, I can deal with the trolls. I can deal with the nasty comments, but I couldn't deal with seeing me as being a defect, if that makes sense. I couldn't look at myself in a screen and see and look at the problem that actually I had. So that was my weak moment. Hence the reason why until a few days ago, today I watched all the episodes. And I was very okay with my eyes actually. And the more stressed I realize I am, the more popped out like that my eyes goes. So for people who wants to make fun of my eyes, that's fine. Go for it. Have a blast. Have a blast actually, because now it got to a point now I'm like, well, you know what? It's out there. People can have fun. The only thing that I want to say right now is on my videos that I do, I want to attract people that are vibrating at a higher frequency. I want to attract people that want to feel that they are expressing themselves in the highest state possible. And I want to attract people that are actually really, really caring, really mindful of not only themselves, but of the environment. Especially in that day and age right now that we are living in that pandemic, I want to attract people that are loving, that are caring, that do understand that by causing more fear, by causing more separation, by causing more pain, by just running away, it's not going to work. It's not going to work right now. We need to come closer together. Yes, of course, social distancing, I know the whole story. But we need to come consciously closer together. We need to expand our consciousness. We need to vibrate at a higher energy. And that's what I want to attract, those people. Those people who are open to do that. Those people who want to connect with their heart. And that who are not vibrating on a low frequency of fear, greed, and wanting to take from people. I'm looking for people who want to give love, to give support, to give care. But be assertive too, kindly assertive. So if you're out there that you're going to get on my Insta and write shit, you can fuck off. For the rest of you guys, if you want to leave a comment that is great, that can grow that community that I want to build, please do. Because like the only thing that I want to do is raise the vibration of people who are conscious and who want to make a difference in the world. That's my mission in this world. And if you don't like it, you can fuck off. Cool? So guys, for all the fans that have supported me from the start, thank you. And I actually honestly love you due to the fact that actually there's comments that I've received, direct messages that I've received that have really touched my heart, because people struggling and they read what they watch my videos, they tell me that how much it makes them feel more, they have hope, they have faith. So it's really nice to hear that, to just receive those DMs. It's powerful. So guys, thank you for everyone who supported me, and for people that don't support me, that's cool. But you don't have to spend your time and waste your energy by writing something shit on my page. Take care, guys. Ciao.
Hey there, guys. Ash here. It's been a while. I haven't seen you guys, and there has been a lot of things happening over the past 2 weeks. A famous seminar. Before I talk about that, I'm moving house. It's been a while now that I've been moving, and it's been actually really amazing just to take a step back and just reflect on everything that has happened. And the place that actually I moved is very close to where Avery and I had that famous fight. It was really funny when I got to the place. I was like, oh shit, I know that spot. But give you an idea, that's the water there. And the funny thing is that that's the water where that's the water there, if you can see. That's where I usually go in the morning for my meditation. And yeah, so I've been pretty much on that for the past few weeks, and it's been really good to be able to actually step away from social media and just reflect back on the different things that has happened lately, and it has been quite intense, because I had to take a step back and just think to myself, what type of coach am I, and what am I really doing? It's a few questions that actually I started asking myself, because that day at the seminar was the worst day of my life. Was among the worst day. Actually, it was among the worst day. But you know, when you talk about survival mode, that day I felt what it meant to be in survival mode, because I was trying to survive due to the fact that my ego was hit so much that I would have done anything to be able to actually get out of that situation. And forget about the amount of stress, forget about how I felt. I would not use any of those excuses, because I should have been more mindful of being able to actually manage that situation, which I fucked up completely. I said things that were not aligned with myself at all. I was trying to explain gender roles when it's such a political debate. I should not have gone into that. And I'm not an expert in that. So firstly, I'm not an expert. I shouldn't have jumped into something that I'm not an expert in. Trying to explain gender role and sexual dysmorphism. And I explained that so badly. Sexual dysmorphism is biological, on the biological level. So I explained that so badly, and I took so much shit that day. And whatever I was saying was like, when I look back and I was thinking about it, I'm like, what the fuck did I talk about? And it was actually very humbling because my ego was hit, and I was trying to save my ass, and I just spoke bullshit the whole time. I blabbered all type of crap, and I have to take full ownership of it. And forget about that, because a lot of people are texting, DMing me about edits. Forget about the edits. Forget about the edits. I just spoke a lot of shit, and I have to own up for that, and I had to take ownership of that. So for all the people out there, I do apologize, because this is not, it's disgusting, it's not acceptable, and it's actually disgusting. Whether I lost control of my emotion and I was just lost control, nothing really actually can explain how bad I felt, or how stupid I felt. So that really had to take, that brought back a lot of humility, and brought me back to perspective of what am I really doing right now. I have to thank a lot of my clients who reached out, and they were really kind, and they were really nice. And a lot of people that I don't even know reached out to say that, they were really kind about their words. And then there was other people that were not so kind, and I totally agree with them, because if I was sitting on the couch watching that episode that day, and I was in your place watching myself, I would have said to this person on the TV, what the fuck are you doing? You have no fucking idea what you're talking about. That's what I would have said. And if you've said that with more, fucking agree with you. So I have to apologize for that moment, because it was a stupid moment of me, and I was so in my survival mode that I would have done anything to save my ass. And no, I'm not a sexist. I'm definitely not a sexist, and it came across that when I said those words, it came across as I was a sexist, but I'm not a sexist at all. And I'm all for the power of the feminine. So yeah, if I could go back, I would actually, but maybe there was a reason for that, because it brought me back to perspective of, am I really a coach, or am I something else? Because it brought back to perspective of what my mission was. That's what it brought back. And I started questioning myself for the past 2 weeks. What am I doing? So those are the questions that I started asking myself. So I'm guessing I'm starting to find the answer of what I really am here for. And the next few weeks, or few days, or few weeks that's coming, maybe you'll find out more by yourself. Not by yourself, but you'll find out more by what I'll be sharing. But for now, I just wanted to come back and apologize to everyone, especially the women out there. I think men and women are equal. We are maybe not the same when it comes to our structure, our strength. When I say strength, it's physical strength. Maybe those are the different things. On a biological level, we are different, maybe, but I'm all for the feminine power. And the matriarchal system is on the rise, and it's taking over a lot of, when you think about leaders of the world now, there are a lot of women taking over those roles, so power to them. But that was pretty much what I want to say, and I'm back. But I'm back with a very different perspective of everything that I've been doing myself. For all the people that have supported me, thank you. And for all the people that have actually sent me, even if they are hate mails, thank you so much for you guys, because you brought something to me that made me realize something very important. And thank you for that. Whether you were lovers, whether you were haters, thank you. And I'm sure you will see the journey that I will be sharing with you in the next few days, weeks, months. And if you're watching the episode, and if you watch the episode today, you will see that I lost my cool. And, I suppressed so much shit that it had to come out. Ciao, guys. See you.
So what I'm going to talk about is something pretty interesting. When you're in a fight with someone, and it's someone that you love, actually, you're in a relationship, not an early relationship, it's pretty much like a relationship you've been in for a year, and you get into an argument, what really matters is how you handle the argument. What really matters is how actually you approach the argument. Because some people will approach the argument by trying to destroy the other person. And that's not really an argument, that's just pretty much going to war. An argument is not about going to war with your partner that you love. An argument is trying to find ways to maneuver during this intricate situation. It's not going to war. If you want to go to war with your partner, it's a lost cause. Why is it a lost cause if you go to war with your partner? Because in the end, what are you trying to do? You're trying to be right rather than be in love. And if you want to be right rather than being in love, that is your choice. That's okay. But remember that being right in a relationship is not the way that you will be able to grow positively. An argument, there's two ways of looking at it. In one sphere, it's a stress that is challenging, but that makes you grow. On the other sphere, it's a stress that is destructive and brings you down. So one is eustress. It's a stress and a challenge that makes you grow as a couple. The other side is distress. It's a challenge that destroys the relationship. So when you're in an argument with your partner, your goal is how to manage this argument with the least damage possible. And believe me, I've been in arguments with my partner and it's been very destructive. So you won't win all the time. On 10 times, if you can at least win 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, it's an amazing odd. Because what it teaches you is that in a moment of extensive stress, you can handle each other. You can handle the situation. Because you're looking at your partner thinking, this is someone that I love. Yes, great, we have an argument, but this is not a war. This is not going to war with my partner, but this is trying to understand what and where he's coming from or she's coming from and try to make sure that I can understand that person. And it is the same on the other side because it's a mutual play right now. It's a mutual understanding that needs to come from each side. If it's only from one side, it can work because it will take a little while for the other person to see a bit more clearly what's going on. And it may not work too, it may not work too. I'm not saying it will be 100% accurate, but the chance, the possibility of this reducing the damage as a couple is higher than if you go to war head on with a person. So if you have a challenge, if you have an argument, your goal is to reduce the amount of destructive energy around that argument. Again, rather than trying to be understood, trying to seek to understand the person. It's actually a great way to be able to handle an argument. And the great thing I usually advise to people actually is to write down a letter, and I think I've said that before, write down a letter about the other person, all the great qualities of the other person. Why do you love them? Why are you with them? What is creating that passion between you guys, and why the smile of that person makes you feel happy? Why the energy of the person makes your heart smile? Write down a letter why you love that person, why that person means everything to you, why you're committed to that person, why you give them passion, why you give them compassion, why you give them empathy, why you want to nurture, care and protect them. Write that letter down, because in a moment of argument, if there's a problem and if you had to step away, but by asking, I know this is going to be destructive right now, and I know that we're not going to share good things, and I believe that the best thing to do at this point is to just move away from each other. It can take 5 minutes, it can take 10 minutes, it can take an hour. Some people will take a whole day. Go back, find that letter, read that letter. And if you have to come back to your partner, read that letter to the partner and tell them, why do you love them? I've noticed it's an amazing strategy to be able to dissolve an argument and find a way to be able to communicate better afterwards. If that helps, guys, I would say try it. If that helps, please let me know how it goes. Even if it's like in a few months' time, whatever it is, send me a DM and let me know how you go. Ciao.